tripping,
We was so
doing the absolute most. Like we was on some other shit.
we
But
was kids.
we had so much fun though.
What? I wish I listened.
You wish you listen to what though exactly?
I know I'm saying I wish like I could go back sometime.
What would you do if you went back? In what year?
Enjoy the moments of just being a senior, having fun, being with friends, people like bro. There's some people I've never seen again.
How do you did you keep up? Do you keep up with anybody from high school?
Duh.
Like who?
Nigga, I keep up with you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like my best friend Jasmine, we
Mm-hmm.
still like this. I talk to her every single day. Me and Malaya, we work out with each other every single day. I talk to Malaya.
Shout out to Malaya.
Yes, every day.
We gotta throw Malaya alley oop on the one time for the one time. Yes. I know she opening up her shit soon, so
yes. I'm trying to think of the name. Is it? Yes, got to be. I didn't want to say. I didn't want to say it wrong. Got to be. Yes, it's opening up soon. I'm so proud of her.
I can't wait. I'm there. And I was telling her, I was like, "Do you realize like what you about to do?"
And she's doing. You know what? Because people are opening up boutiques everywhere, right? That's like but the way she's doing it, it's targeted. It's right. Different. And that's what I like about it the most. So yeah.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to this amazing person we got on camera today. Round of applause. Let's go. Round of applause. Round of applause. Today we're going to give you guys a different type of conversation. I've known this amazing, young, talented woman for a very long time. I've seen the growth. I've seen the come up. Not necessarily a come up, but I've seen the extraordinary hard work. I remember one day we was sitting at a hookah bar and we was just talking about our goals and dreams, and I'm actually sitting here watching her work. But I just want you guys to know that this shit is undeniably the greatest shit I've just been able to witness and be able to see. But go ahead and introduce yourself for the day.
Hey man, what's up? Well, I'm Nella D, the girl with the 411. On air personality for 101.1 The Wiz, DJ, promoter, blogger. My brand is 411 Uncut. It's one of the biggest upcoming blogs in the Midwest. We really put on for Ohio and for the Midwest, like period. Yeah, like that's me in like a nutshell.
Now talk about that. How long have you been in radio?
Okay, so I started radio in 2013. That's when I actually got hired on, and I started out street team. Started out in promotions. I had interned the year previously before that. Ended up going to the Ohio Media School. So once they hired me back on 2013, that's when everything really started rocking for me. Like 2013 was what started everything, kicked everything off.
Now, what made you get into what was that thought process? Where did radio come from? Because I never expected that.
Never. Me neither. But I mean, thinking about me like growing up, it makes sense. Like I was always the music head. I was always a dancer. Like people that know me from high school, I was always dancing. Yes. Turned up. Yeah, like I was always the girl. You was gonna see me somewhere dancing. 9 times out of 10. I always liked music. I was the girl who had like posters all over my walls. I was always into magazines, Word Up magazines, Right On magazines. I was always into the TV shows with the artists, the 106 & Parks, the MTV, what is it called? URL, all that stuff. Like I was really into that stuff growing up. So it's kind of crazy that it ain't crazy for me so much, but that clicked for me. Like, dang, I really always been into journalism for real and reading about my favorite artists and stuff like that. So eventually though, what happened, why I really got into it, one of my crew members, I was a manager at McDonald's at the time. One of my crew members told me that I was funny and that I should work on the radio. Like he was like, you just funny, you should work at radio. And I was like, how would I do that? And he literally was like, that school they be talking about you should. And I actually like went home and looked it up. I had nothing to lose. I was like 19, 20 at the time. I had just became a manager at McDonald's. I've been working there since high school. I'm like, look, I had went to Clark Atlanta, came back because I couldn't afford to stay in school. So I'm like, look, I need to do something, I need to try something. So when I went to the school and checked it out, I'm like, oh, this is me. Like, I seen all the microphones and boards. I want to record myself. I want to touch that. I want to know how it worked. Like, and at that moment when I walked in that school and I seen all that stuff, it was like, they say it's 2 most important days in your life: the day you born and the day you find out why. It's so dope though that my birthday is my brand. So it's like super dope. Like 411, that's my birthday. 411, that's the day I was born. And I use that, the girl with the 411, 411 Uncut, 411 with Nella D, 411 911. Everything I do is within that. So like that day I walked into that school though, I realized why I was born. It was to be in media. At that point, I just thought I wanted to do radio automatically. I didn't know I would become everything else. I just knew I wanted to do something.
In 2022, what does 411 mean to you this year? Yes, talk about it. What is it going to mean for you this year?
Man, listen. 411 Uncut, okay, it's my baby. That's my everything. Because I've actually watched it grow from nothing, from zero to where it's at now. This year, I'm so excited to see it grow just even more. Like we just reached 18K on Instagram.
Round of applause for that. Woo! Let's go. 20K next.
20K next.
20K next.
Like that's my goal. Like, you know what? I cannot wait to be in the 20Ks this year. You know what I mean? Like maybe we'll end the year at 22,000. Okay, since it's year 22.
Yes.
We'll end it, you know, at 22,000. And I know I could gain that before the end of the year. It's just so dope to see something grow organically. And sometimes it's like my mouth be hung open, like, this really happening?
Yes.
Like I can't believe it's really happening, but the work I consistently have to put in. And I know I put in a lot. Every day my brand is being worked. You know what I'm saying? Every day we put into it. It's not one day that go by where nothing is happening on 411 Uncut. That'll never happen.
Absolutely. Let's rewind just a little bit back to high school.
Yeah.
Do you remember our seamless superlatives?
I don't like what we put in the yearbook.
No, it was. I think it was. Well, yeah, it was something that went in the yearbook, but other people voted on us.
Oh yeah, for stuff. Yeah, I was class clown.
So you were class clown. I was most artistic, and
yeah,
I'm just looking at that and just looking at what transcended to what we're doing now. And do you feel like you had any representation? Any black or women representation in radio and what you saw in high school?
I mean, in high school, I was a clown. Like I just had fun. But I think like that's part of what I do now. You get what I'm saying? Like I literally I entertain people. Like I entertain people on the radio. I entertain people in clubs. Like every weekend I'm working at the club. I have to host. I have to DJ. I have events every weekend. Sometimes I do 5, like a minimum. I do a minimum of 3 events every weekend, but sometimes it's 6. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's more. So, and you gotta clown for people. You know, you gotta you clowning on it with the DJ with the music today, like. So it kind of like, look, I might have been a class clown. I kept people entertained in school. People thought I was funny, but shoot, now I'm entertaining my whole tri-state. Now I'm entertaining people every day with 411 Uncut. People get the entertainment, the gossip of the day every day through my platform. So.
Now, with Ohio Media School, what was the transition like from that to working with the Wheels?
Listen, it wasn't as smooth as thought it was gonna be because like when I first graduated from Ohio Media, I was like dead broke. Like, yeah, I was a manager at McDonald's at the time, but I was going to school with the rest of my time. And when you a student, you spending so much money on, like I'm interning, I'm going to school every day, I'm driving back and forth to these events, I got to eat out all the time. Like I was spending so much money to be in school that I was so broke. So when I first like graduated, my plan, like the next day, like even the week I was about to graduate, I was already like applying for second jobs because I'm like, I got to get my money back up. Like I done spent this whole time. I took it was like 9 months to be in a program. I haven't went out of town. I ain't really did nothing. I've been broke this whole time. I'm about to treat myself good, like for my accomplishments. So I'm about to go to work. So I ended up actually picking up a janitorial job right after I graduated. I worked for, matter of fact, ABM. It's like a janitor company here in Cincinnati. And I did that for probably like a year with McDonald's. I worked them full time, like both of them, like almost like a year because I graduated in 2012. I end up stopping doing that job. Then I end up quitting McDonald's for being a manager. I was just like, I'm over this right now. End up getting another job. And at the time, I'm still calling down there to the radio station like, hey, is there any positions open? It was positions open, but they wasn't ready to fill them yet. But I kept calling to be on their mind. And I was one of their best interns. So they was like, I knew in my heart they would hire me back, but it was taking longer than I expected. I remember calling my mom crying about it. Like, Mom, like, I haven't got the job yet. Like, I was getting discouraged because it was like a year at this point since I graduated. I'm like, man, I should be at the, what's going on? And I called my mom crying one day. I was even thinking of like applying for jobs out of town. Like, I'm just have to move. Like, I'm gonna have to just go. I was trying to work at the station in Dayton, the hip hop and R&B station in Dayton. I was applying for stuff in Columbus, like just wherever, like trying to figure out how to get into radio. Like I needed it. And my mom, she was like, just calm down, you're gonna get it. Not even a week later, they called me like, hey, can you come down here for a meeting? I was like, of course. Like, I quit my job, everything, to take a part. I was working a full-time job, full benefits, everything. I left all of that to go work part-time at the station. They're like, you sure? I said, absolutely. I could care less about the money. This is what I really want to do. So I really took a pay cut, and I was like living out on my own. Like, yeah, I suffered, but it was a it was real, because you would think like, man, I'm in my career. I should be like, I landed my dream job. I have a career. I should be okay financially, and I just wasn't. That was like the hardest struggle for me, was trying to figure out how to be in my career and take care of myself. And you grown, you know, you want to do stuff, you want to buy things, and it's like, nah, with being part-time in radio, in promotion, starting out in that department, you know, you doing street team, you doing all the grunt work, but you get paid the less. You at the bottom of the totem pole. But it's okay. That's part of the story. You know what I mean? I took a lot of losses during that time, but I was glad I had a good support system. My mother really helped me through that. Like, she literally told me, like, come home. Like, come home. Be Nella D. Like, focus on your career. Come home. And I didn't know she was gonna pass within the next, she probably passed a couple years after me moving back home, which was like, it sucked. It like punched me, because I'm like, man, like, she my support system, but she still is, even though she ain't here.
How much of, and RP to moms, I lost my mom last year for my birthday. How much does our moms, thank you, how much does our moms make an impact on our life? And do you feel like she was able to see your dream that you wanted to fulfill before she left?
Yes. Mom was a big impact, because she was like my biggest supporter. She was my biggest fan. She would literally be, I'm talking about at random places, my daughter Nella D. Like, what, Mom? Like, why are you telling people that, like, I'm your daughter? Like, she would just be, you know, you heard Nella D be on the Wiz? Yeah, that's my baby. Like, she would go to the back. Like, she even got to see me on TV. Like, I had got to do a couple segments on Fox 19 through the radio station, and she cried. Like, she was crying. I'm like, girl, why is you crying? Like, she got to see me in magazines, and she was crying about that. Like, so she got to see a lot. She would watch my podcast episodes. I would go in her room. She got YouTube pulled up, watching me on the, like, getting hit to rappers. Like, she like Young Butter. She'd be like, oh, I like Butter. I like his stuff. Like, she really would be tapped in to everything I had going on. So it's unfortunate that she can't physically be here with me to go through the stuff like that. That's the part that like mess with me. Like, she ain't here physically, but it's okay because I still feel her. Like, she always with me at all times. Like, she always with me. She always in my heart. She's always still pushing me. I can still hear her sometimes saying, you got this. You better go. What? You better, you gonna kill it. Like, you know, I remember being like unsure about stuff sometimes before I would leave out for events. And she like, you got this. Go. Da, 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 da. Like, she gonna give me my prep talks that I need. And I keep them still in the back of my head. I can still telling her, hearing her tell me, like, you got this. Like, she would literally go in like that. Like, you the shit. Don't let nobody tell you ain't. You the shit. Like, go kill it tonight. And that,
with especially having a support system. How has your support system evolved since you started in radio to now, and what's the importance of having a team around you?
man, I couldn't be right here right now doing this interview if I didn't have a team. Like, having a team is important. And sometimes it ain't even a team necessarily that's working for you, but a team that's advocating for you, a team that's you could call and get advice from, that's willing to support you. Like my team is like Prestige, DJ Smooth, Wade the Barber, my boyfriend, my marketing team, Bean. Like, these is like, this like my team, like, you know what I'm saying, my interns, like, that's what's like the team, you know, because it's so many working parts to Nella D. Like, you got Nella D and you got 411 Uncut. So Nella D is like the DJ and the on-air talent, you know, the host for things and the PR. But then you got 411 Uncut, and we like this a whole media company. So they both can cross at times, but sometimes I need somebody to help me focus on that stuff. Sometimes I need help with the DJing side of things, the like hosting, like having a home club. That's support. Like, I have a venue to DJ every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like, a lot of, like, that's a blessing. Like, I have a home, and I have like the club that I work for. They are very supportive in everything with Nella D. Any event that I want to put on outside of the events I work for, they are always like, let's do it. We'll support you. Yes, you could. What would you, if I say I want to do something, I could do it. And that's what's like working at Prestige. It's like a family. So shout out to Eddie. That's the owner. Like, he's real, like, he's real supportive and of Nella D. Very supportive for sure.
That's amazing. Talk about entrepreneurship. Do you feel like you're an entrepreneur, and on the journey of being in the radio industry, where did that start?
Yeah, cause like, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm not. Like, I do have a job. But then again, I don't. Like, I have a job technically with working in radio, but I'm a part-timer. So with being a part-timer, I don't have a 40-hour a week check from the radio. You know, I'm not in a salary position with the radio. Like, I work part-time and I fill up everything else with between events, DJing. That's more like a freelance thing. You know what I mean? Working for clubs, doing events. You're more of a freelancer. So that's what gives you more of the entrepreneur feel, and having my own company, 401 Uncut. That's like that's how I'm technically part-time. I do so much to feel like I'm full-time, I guess, if that makes sense. Like,
I don't think people realize how much work it goes behind that. Speak to that, because I think people think this shit is so easy.
Oh, hell no. Like, if I run down to you what my schedule is like, you'd be like, what? Like, some people might be like, how do you do it? Like, and sometimes I beat myself up for feeling tired. Like, I should be tired. Like, it's okay. Take this day to relax. And I don't feel, every time I do that, I'm like, man, look, I could be doing this. Like, I ain't even posted on my website. I ain't even did, like, I feel guilty for taking a break. But it's like, what about all the stuff you just did? What about all the stuff you just did? And I think that a lot of people don't, in order to maintain being an entrepreneur, you have to do so many things. And even like with me having like this past year, scoring this partnership with Remy Martin, that was something that I added to the plate too. So now, I got to fulfill them obligations as well. Like when you become an influencer, people like influencers, and people think like, oh my God, I would like to be like the influencers. But being an influencer it's fun, yeah, but you have obligations to this stuff too. You got to do so many social media posts. You got to do so many events. You got to do something. You have to be creative and put this stuff together. You got to have a team that's going to build out proposals so that you can put on events. Like, it's a lot of stuff that go into like everything. Like, but it's marketing, and that's why I said my team is like so important to me, because marketing is one of the things that'll take you from one level to the next. Knowing your marketing, knowing people around you. And I come from marketing. I started off in promotions and marketing, so I know how to do it. And all the stuff I learned from radio back there, sitting in that my little cubicle learning, I took that stuff and applied it to my own brand. And that's what kind of that's what separates you from everybody else, because you got your own brand.
Absolutely. You're one of the most consistent people I've known, and obviously because we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
For the people that want to start off in radio, and even let's speak to the masses about being entrepreneurship. What's one thing that keeps you organized as a person and your team?
Organized, I would say.
And before you answer that, on a scale of 1 to 10, how organized are you?
I don't think I'm that organized at all. I would say like a 6.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that organized at all.
Well, what keeps the team organized? What are you guys doing right now? Something that you're doing every day. You're like, yo.
We have meetings weekly though. Like, having meetings weekly keeps you organized.
Talk about it.
Like, and to be honest, not only do I have meetings weekly, but then I'm like, my marketing guy, like, we are on call with each other at all times. Like, it's not a time that it's like, oh, I can't call him or he can't call me. Like, we got stuff to do. Like, we got stuff to do. Like, ain't no like every day we in contact, and whether that's through text message, whether that's through email, like, no, we're gonna be in contact because stuff has to get done. So like every week it's a thing where, okay, look, we got interviews to do for one Uncut. We might have content promotional posts that we need to make for people that's bought advertisement for us. We have to keep that in queue, so a lot of stuff that's good for me. My marketing guy does a great job of keeping stuff in queue, but I do keep a planner. Keeping a planner really helped me know like what I got coming up, because stuff could get mixed in with personal stuff. Somebody could throw in a meeting on me. Like this week, I got a meeting from work got thrown in. I'm not used to having to go to a meeting at work. That throw me off. Throw me all off. So keeping my planner really like helped me stay organized like the most out of everything. And my weekly meetings with my team do as well, because I know like, okay, it'll remind me of like what I need to do for 401 Uncut and what they need to do as well. And what I need to do on the DJ side of things too. Sometimes it's like, oh, I need invoices made. I need, like, it's a lot of stuff that go in to these working parts, like, and you gotta have somebody on that computer. My marketing guy, he's a real computer guy, so he really like able to handle everything. But it's like, you gotta know how to delegate. I think that's the biggest thing to being an entrepreneur and with having a team. If you don't know how to delegate, it ain't gonna matter, because you're still gonna be trying to do everything. You can't do everything. You gotta know how to delegate. You gotta get some of that stuff away. Like, I'm at the point where I'm about to start giving interviews away, because I can't do everything, but I want the content. I need it, but I can't do it. Like, I can't do everything. So, yeah.
Understanding a team and partnerships, and let's speak on that because you mentioned first of all, congratulations, Remy Ma. Like people don't realize that first of all, they not just giving Remy Ma sponsorships out to
No,
everybody.
yeah, Remy Martin ain't, yeah, like it ain't something that anybody get a sponsorship for, but I did.
And speak on that. How did that come about? And what other companies would you like to partner up with in 2022?
So Remy Martin came about because I was looking technically for sponsorships for 401 Uncut. 401 Uncut is like it's like a big deal. Even though I be being so humble about it.
No, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big fucking deal.
401 Uncut is a big deal. Like I know the big, so like people be walking through like I didn't know that was your like you got a gossip page. Like they didn't know like that was my blog. I'm like yeah, like that motherfucker be jumping. Like excuse me, I don't know if I cuss out here. So.
We had Big Draco on there to talk about it.
Okay, like it's a big deal. So I'm like, well, okay. I think I should start selling this brand. You know, like I need to start pitching it to get people to get in on it. Like I would see stuff happening in bigger markets like Atlanta and shit. They be putting on these fucking showcases and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want to showcase. Like I want to do showcases. I want to do stuff. How do they be getting these liquor sponsors? They be sponsored by liquor brands and stuff. I'm like, how do they do that? Like I was just looking at everybody's stuff. I would see other on-air talents that had Remy Martin endorsements or just liquor endorsements, period. I'm like, how do they do that? So I started looking around for a contact. It just so happened it was way closer than what I thought it was. I did a cold call, and when I ended up talking to the guy, like, and he ended up finding out who I was, he was like, "Wait, what you?" And man, shout out to Incognito, posted on the corner. Man, he's such a dope guy. He works with Remy Martin as well. And the rep that I had contact, they worked with him, and when they kind of had told him like, "Hey, we got her on the line," he was like, "Oh, what? Nella D, the girl?" Like he really pumped me up, and they like, "Oh, she must really be what she saying she is." And I sent them over my press kit and everything like that. Anybody who want to get into influencing or things, you need your own press kit. That's just a jewel I'm gonna tell people. I have my own press kit built up. Not only does it talk about me, but my business for one cut as well. Shout out to my marketing team. And I sent that stuff over. And they really was like, wow, like this, they was impressed, and they invited me out to Summer Jam in Cleveland. And that's because they were a big sponsor for that this past summer, or 2021 summer. So I went, met everybody, and it was on after that. Like it was on. Like everything was on. Like they kept their word with everything. I actually just wrapped up All-Star Weekend with them in February in Cleveland. That was my first time getting a DJ. Like the one thing I really like about Remy Martin was like they gave me an opportunity that I didn't have. Like I never got the opportunity to DJ out of town. As of yet, they gave me my first opportunity to do that. With All-Star Weekend, I DJed 2 events that weekend. They treated us so good. Like I really love Remy Martin, and I cannot wait to keep growing with them and doing more stuff with them because they are amazing. Like so amazing. Man, listen.
It be people that want to get some shit done, but shit, I gave you all the knowledge, but what you gonna do with that knowledge that I gave you? You feel me?
Because a lot of people ain't gonna listen. I used to be kind of like, am I gonna give people my tea on how I did this or how like it don't matter. You could tell people everything on how you did something, how you got there. They're not gonna listen. Everybody don't know how to drive because guess what? What I did to do is you might not feel it's worth it. You might not be down to sacrifice the stuff that I done sacrificed. You might not be down for that.
I'm glad you brought that up. Talk about them sacrifices and what you feel like you've had to give up to get to the point where you're at now.
Man, listen. I've sacrificed so much, like just financially, like working for free for so long. Like, man, I worked for free, like in the clubs. I had worked for free. Like I didn't know how to be a host. I had to learn how to talk on the mic. I had to learn how to be a MIC. Like I didn't know. So it was like I had to work for free for that. Like working for free is
Humbling.
what?
I love it.
It's very humbling. And at any point in my career right now, I would go do something for free if it makes sense. You know, like I did a lot of stuff, like even working with schools and stuff like that. People like would see me going out on a lot of tours and doing stuff with like, you know, I'm like, look, I start now being like, look, I need to be compensated because I can't do it no more. But like, you gotta know some stuff. Guess what? I need to be in front of these kids. These kids is the next generation, and these are the next consumers. I got kids. I was going to their school in 2014, hosting their pet rallies and stuff. They is coming in the club now. They 21, 22 now. Now I'm promoting them for something else. Like these are the next consumers. So it's some stuff people might be like, I wanted. What you did all of that? You put together a whole tour? Yeah, I was putting together whole tours for free. Like because I wanted to be in the community, because I wanted to be with my people. You feel me? I want to get my name out there. And some people ain't willing to do stuff like that. They not willing to do that for their name, to build their brand up. Like, and I mean, I get it. Like it wasn't easy, but I did it because I knew how to work it. You feel me? I knew how to make it make sense for me. I know, like, look, I got a platform that kids will want to be in tune with. I'm interviewing their favorite rappers, their favorite artists. Like, I need to be in front of these people so that they know what I do. It worked.
You just gotta learn how to work the room.
Yeah, but those sacrifices on that, like sacrifices, like they don't never stop. Feel me? They'll never stop. Like sacrificing your sleep, sacrificing, you know, even my weekends. Like a lot of people, they live for the weekend and they work Monday through Friday. They off. No, I'm not off. Like I have to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend. Like I don't have no weekend off. I don't get to kick back on the weekend. That's when it turned up for me. I gotta be on the radio. I gotta be in the clubs. Like I gotta do events. Like some people ain't. I know a lot of people not willing to sacrifice their weekend. For nobody. You know what I'm saying? Are you really willing to sacrifice your weekend for what you really want to, you know what I'm
saying? It's again, like you said, not everybody is willing to make that sacrifice. And to transition to the next point is you went from sacrificing your time, your money, media school to the Wiz. Where did DJing come from? Like, what made you be like, you know what? Because it's next level shit, because it makes sense because of what you do. But what made you be like, man, I might start DJing?
Man, I don't even know. Like, I just was like, I want to learn this shit. Like, out of nowhere. And I might have been getting sometimes, like, you could get bored with stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes you need to do something to amp your shit back up. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm a student. Like, I love to learn new stuff. Like, I love to learn. Like, and that's what keep you moving. That's what keep you sharp. You learn new stuff. That shoot, if I learn this something else, like I love media so much that like I don't care to learn whatever it is in media. Like I want to be the DJ, the host, the blogger, the commentator, whatever the case. Like I love media that much. I love everything that comes with it. So I'm like, man, and I was thinking like, man, DJing just really like seemed lit. I'm in the club already. I'm already in the club every weekend. I already know the songs to play. I already know I don't watch the greatest of the greats do this. Like, why not? And I remember just saying, like, I'm going to learn how to do it.
Do you remember your first radio show, and do you remember your first DJing gig?
Yes.
Talk to me about it.
My first radio show, I fucked up. I fucked up so bad. Like, I remember... Look, I did some idiot shit where I fucked up so bad, edit something, and it just kept playing it over and over. And I'm sitting there looking stupid like, I just went to commercial. Like, fuck this shit. I'm so irritated. Like, you know what? And I remember shaking. I remember, like, going to, like, I was just shaking. And I remember Steph, he was young Steph then. Now he's Steph Schemes. But Steph was, I was coming in after his shift. And he like, you gonna be good. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I never been in here by myself and like did this by myself, you know? Like, I was so scared because I was just so happy that I didn't want to mess up. You know what I mean? Like, I was so excited. But eventually, like now, I go on that radio, I just be like, It's what I want. Like I'm going in. Like I could do it so quick. I remember DJing too. I remember being scared to DJ. I was scared to host at the club. Like my first hosting gig was at Annie's, and Annie's is a very big stage. It's like a concert venue. And I remember DJ Smooth. He said, "There go the mic. You can, you know." I said, "What I'm supposed to say?" Like I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" Like I was like a deer in the headlight. Like he had to literally like teach me stuff to say. Like I didn't know what to do. My first DJ gig though, I had first started. I actually was DJing off DJ Smooth computer, off his equipment.
Shout out to Smooth.
Yeah, like
My
Smooth.
brother.
Yeah, like Smooth is like a big. He's one of my mentors, best friend. Like he helped me bookings, whatever. Like he really keep Nella D booked for real, for real. But I'm like, man, we was doing hat tricks. We was doing a Thursday at hat tricks at KY. And I remember telling him like, you should be the DJ. And he was like, but you want to learn how to DJ. So yeah, like I'm gonna bring my equipment and you gonna DJ off my stuff. Like you gonna learn how to DJ. I'm like, what? So I was actually DJing in the bar. That was my real deal, like first gig. But then like my official like my real official like first time on flyers and stuff was a happy hour I did at Prestige. We were called Privilege back then. It was like happy hours was kind of how I got my feet real wet with DJing. Outside of that bar in KY, I was doing that. But during the pandemic too is when I really went up. Like I had to DJ all the happy hours by myself. Had to like I really got my feet wet during that time. Like and then next thing you know, it just took off. Now I'm like booked to DJ Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the club. I used to just host Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now they make me DJ and host all those days. So yeah, it's cool.
How does it feel having that? And is it considered another source of income? How important is
Man, I'm glad I picked up DJing because it did kind of like turn me up on the income side. I'm not gonna lie, like being a DJ, you charge way more than just hosting an event. Like you really, like I'm bringing out my speakers. It's like a more laborious job too. And you really like the entertainment of something. Like I DJ at schools now. I did Woodward's they whole basketball season. I DJ for them. I'm doing some stuff with Taft now as well.
Woo!
So it's like it's work, but it's fun. I like it a lot, and it is more money because like you can't book me to just host this. Like they gonna book the DJ. Like the DJ is it's a different power. Being a DJ, it's more powerful. Like you have a different type of like the record labels. It's different. Like now they like, hey, like yeah, she a mixer, and now DJ on radio too. That was the one thing that I really appreciated. Shout out to my PD A+. He was my PD. He ended up going to be a operations manager in Cleveland, but he was my program director. He actually supported me when I said I'm going to be a DJ. He gave me my first mix show on the radio, bringing in the year of 2019, I believe. He let me DJ, or 2020, one of them. He let me DJ that, and it was like a big thing because I'm like, dang, like I really get DJ on the radio for the first time. Like so now I'm a mixer on both. To mix in a club, I DJ on the radio too, like all special like holidays and stuff like that. I'm a newer DJ, so I don't got like my own mix show yet. But anytime we do like 4th of July weekend mixes or Labor Day, Memorial Day, like I'm a mixer for the station. So
just know if you want it, you're gonna get it. You are a natural host and obviously a natural DJ. It just makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely makes sense.
Thank you.
But now that you're doing that, and has there been any struggles or anything you've noticed between being a black woman in that space versus a male, or some things that you feel like you aren't privy to that they try to keep away from you?
Absolutely. I think that way about just radio, period. Like I've came to the conclusion, like I used to be like, why am I not like full time, like getting like really promoted how I'm supposed to? Like I just think that the game is definitely like a sexist thing. It's definitely how can I put this? Because I don't want to just seem like I'm shitting on my job,
but
right?
People don't talk about it.
Yeah, they don't. But it's like sometimes, like I have felt slighted by if you don't fit the criteria of what somebody might feel is the criteria. If you don't fit that, some people might not rock with you. I ain't had that problem so much in all lanes, but in some, yeah. Not in all lanes, in some, yeah. If you don't fit the criteria of certain things, but being a woman, being a black woman, being a darker skinned woman, people can slight you for that. People might not feel like you worth or you ain't marketable to them. You feel me? Maybe because you don't fit their fancy. I've definitely felt like I've experienced that while in my career. I'm gonna probably experience it again, but it's cool. I don't, it is what it is. You might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm still winning. You can't bury me for it. Like I'm lit. Like so, it don't matter.
And thank you for speaking up about that because I don't think a lot of people take the time to understand that or even recognize that it's a problem in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna dead all that anyway because we still rocking and rolling. Yeah. 2022, right? We here. We actually think about it, almost a quarter through the way through the year, right?
Before next? We know it.
What's next for Nella D? What's next for 411 Uncut? What realistic goals do you have for the rest of the year?
My realistic goals is just to continue. Like I think that sometimes people's like always trying to add. Like I'm not trying to do nothing that's like, of course, doing major things is gonna be good. That's gonna come because that's just how blessed I am being able to do major things. But consistency is all I care about because that's really how you grow. That's how you get to the bigger opportunities and things. People think like, man, how do my goal is to do this and that. Well, cool. If you want to reach 100,000 followers this year or whatever the case may be, shoot, you just got to be consistent. That's my main goal. Is always to stay working, be consistent, because that means that everything else gonna come. It ain't about having this random goal. You know what I mean? Like, got a lot of goals. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to make sure I get more partnerships, get more sponsorships, things like that within my brand, get more clients that's really built in to 411 Uncut on the advertising side. That's like something real important to me. Outside of just like artists, like real companies that's willing to take in on our digital audience and want to advertise. Like that's like a big thing for me that I want. But I'm like, look, if I stay doing what I'm doing, it'll come. You know what I mean? I definitely want to get more interns. I really want to build more of a team, building more of teaming up with people that really love media. Teaming up with people that really want to learn media, whether that's, I especially like young ladies. Like I want to be able to put other women on that's really interested in rap and hip hop and, wanting to be able to find a voice within it and do interviews and stuff like that. I want to be able to put together my own team and have a big media house. Like, them the goals for 411 Uncut, but it's about me being consistent with everything I got going on right now. That's going to get me there.
Last thing. You have 5 words to describe 411 Uncut. Give them to 5 words.
5 words to describe 411 Uncut.
5 words.
Shoot, I mean, one of the words is uncut that's in there, but uncut.
Take uncut out.
I can't use uncut. Okay.
We gotta take uncut out.
I would say Cincinnati, for sure. Cause 411 Uncut is Cincinnati like all day tomorrow. I don't care how big it get. My Cincinnati artists getting promoted on 411 Uncut. Like I don't care. Like we gon' forever rock with the city, no matter how big it get. Like Ohio, that's the other word because we are Ohio as well. Midwest, we really for the Midwest. Like you feel me? All 3 of them is important to 411 Uncut. I'm gonna say the next one is Limitless. And the last one, lit.
I like it. Where can people reach out to you if they want to get in contact? Want to throw you some shit? Throw all your socials. Shout out all your shit.
Everything is at Nella_D513. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that at Nella_D513. And too, you can hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at 411 Uncut. Tap in on that like page, 411 Uncut. Follow us on TikTok too, okay? 411 Uncut. And Twitter, 411 Uncut_.
Woohoo! And that's a wrap. Let's go. Sheesh.